Well, welcome to Elevate and Empower, the Vibrant Living Summit, and to another amazing speaker that I am excited to share with you. In this session, we are going to be hearing from Michele Coy. Now, she is a business and leader strategist. She's an entrepreneur and empowering individuals and businesses to succeed. She has 28 years of experience in this field. She shares two superpowers: listening with complete acceptance and compassion, and connecting individuals with others. She is an amazing connector. And her title for today, what she's going to be sharing, is Beyond Duty, Responsibility is a Powerful Choice. And what does that mean? So let's welcome Michele to the stage and learn more.
Welcome to the Elevate and Empower, a Vibrant Woman Summit. Thank you for investing in yourself and joining us for this summit. You're receiving powerful information from a wide variety of speakers. And I am grateful to be one of those speakers and present to you today that beyond duty, responsibility is a powerful choice. So, Michele, what's the reason you can even speak of this? So I want you to answer a couple questions or start to reflect on a couple questions before we begin. Where have you taken on responsibility that wasn't necessarily yours? Where have you said yes to something that wasn't necessarily your responsibility? Where did you feel that you didn't have a choice and that there was a responsibility that you had to take on because it was a duty? Where in your life are you saying yes when you should be saying no? And as you think about the roles that you're in, business, personal, what responsibilities are you taking on in those roles that may not be yours to take on? However, maybe because of your personality style, maybe because of the way you were brought up, that you are taking on responsibilities that aren't yours. So as you reflect on that question, I'm going to reflect in my background. So give you a little idea of where I have come from and how I have gotten here today. So I wasn't always a business and leadership strategist. I spent the first 28 years of my career in accounting and finance. I worked for an accounting firm for 18 years and then worked in several small businesses. However, the biggest opportunities to find myself was the 4.5 years I spent in a tribal government. It was a company of 160 employees, the biggest I'd ever worked in. However, it was such a blessing. I remember the first day joining the company, and I was telling my husband, I know this is a step down. I have a master's degree, but I'm going to start the staff accounting because I just know there's opportunities here. And boy, the opportunities blew me away. It wasn't necessarily the career advancement. It was all the opportunities surrounding my position, the type of organization I was in. I was blessed because I found my spirituality. I found my faith in something so much greater than myself working in this organization. I realized the beat of the drum was the sound of my life and how I was living it, and how out of rhythm my life was, how I wasn't in alignment with what I was doing. And I had so much more potential. And I wasn't allowing myself to see it, nor was I allowing anybody else to see it. It was through this experience that I had the opportunity to work with tribal members and connect them to opportunities, connect them to resources, connect them with people that they needed to see, however they didn't know that they needed to see them. And it was through this connection that this introverted little girl found herself, because I was not meant to sit in an office all day and cut checks. I was meant to be out in this world connecting people, connecting resources, showing individuals that they have so much more potential, allowing business owners to elevate and empower those individuals within their organization that were often overlooked, not seen, not valued, and not heard. And so that realization was what led me to taking a leap of faith in 2018 and starting my own business, knowing that I was supposed to be a coach, a consultant, a strategist, something that was helping people find other potentials within them. However, the journey was not as smooth as I anticipated. It was a journey and a path of lots of detours, lots of taking trails not designated, thinking outside the box. And that is how I got to where I was at. I started as a bookkeeping business because there was a need and a gap that wasn't fulfilled. And it was while I was in that position and holding that business that I began to work with women and began to see other needs, other gaps. And I was getting curious. And it was that curiosity that led me to becoming a master in neuro-linguistic programming. I know it's a big word, but it's the communication with the subconscious mind. It's looking at different patterns and realizing that the words that we speak lead to patterns that are unrecognized, which then led me to become a money mindset coach because I heard so many individuals struggle with what money, wealth, and any financial freedom meant. And I was going on my own journey with my own value, my own self-worth, as I was working alongside other women. However, it was someone else seeing the true potential in me that I was not seeing in myself. Michele, you have a powerful tool. You know finances, and small businesses don't recognize how, if they're not investing in their leaders, that it's affecting their bottom line. And so then I began the journey of a business and leadership strategist, mirroring that information of financial information along with leadership and valuing the people within your organization. And it's through all of these steps that I have a story I'm going to share with you, because it's a powerful story that helped me understand that responsibility is not a duty. It is a choice that we can make. So my story starts back in 1996. My parents were divorcing. And my dad handed me his paycheck and said, Michele, I need you to take care of the household finances. Please mind you, I was 20 years old. I was working full time and going to school full time. And now I had the responsibility as the eldest daughter to take care of my dad's finances because I was not realizing my own value, and I didn't realize I had a choice. Fast forward several years later, my dad was then divorcing my stepmom, and he struggled because he didn't keep up his books. My mom always kept up the books for him. And I had to go in because I said yes again, because I felt it was the duty, because I had an accounting background, that I could help my dad with his books. Except this time, I was a small business owner, trying my feet at the entrepreneurial journey. So I asked my dad, do you want me to run this under the business, or do you want me to run it through my job? He says, let's run it through the business. So during this journey, catching up, there was a lot of gaps in his books. So I had to ask him, Dad, can you please go get these missing checks? Only to discover those missing checks were written to a family member. And when I asked my dad, what are you going to do? He says, just put them in my account as if I was writing them out and just disregard it. It's not your problem. You see, well, I had this knowledge and this wisdom from my accounting background that this wasn't right. And I felt not comfortable doing this. However, he was my client and he was making a choice to do it this way. I was listening to that inner guidance system that was telling me, Michele, this isn't right. But I did it. And what came next was a blow to my worth, to my value, and questioning so many things about myself. I finished it, realized that family member had embezzled almost $24,000. And not only did I have to tell my dad, I presented him with the bill, and he chose to tell me, Michele, I paid for your college education. I'm not paying your bill. I just spent 60 hours, not with my new family. I was newly married. I spent it working on my father's stuff just to be slapped in the face that I didn't have value to him. Mind you, I looked up to my father. He was the entrepreneur. And I valued everything that he had given me and provided for me. And I was so grateful that I had that opportunity to go to college, and I was the only one that stuck through it. But this was a slap in the face. I ended up closing my business because if I wasn't even making as much as I was making in my day job and wasn't being valued for it, I actually had a client that I was being paid less than half of what I was making in my day job. What's the use of continuing? And so I shut the business down. It was several years later. It was May of 2015, as my dad laid dying in his hospital bed. He said, Michele, you'll have another mess. This time it's a doozy. And it was a month later, on Father's Day, when he passed away, that I realized what that doozy was. And yet again, it was a responsibility. I felt it as the duty of the oldest, and I was marked the executor of the estate. That estate took 7 years to close. It was a doozy. So with all this being said, I didn't have the confidence or recognize the value within myself to realize this was a choice I could have made. I only saw it as a duty. And it wasn't until recently, as I began to reflect on all of the situations in my past around my father, that I realized it's beyond a duty. Responsibility is a powerful choice that we can make. So how am I applying this to my entrepreneurial journey now? So there's often times where I'm presented with opportunities. For example, I was given an opportunity to do a homework assignment. And this homework assignment was to interview 3 different people from 3 different generations. Well, I took it above and beyond. And I put it out on Facebook, and I ended up interviewing 25 different people. And my coach, as I was telling her about this, said, Michele, this is the perfect opportunity to write a book. Guess what? I said yes. I said yes without really thinking, does this align with where I'm going? This is when I started to realize I have a choice. And I don't have to say yes to everything. And neither do you. It may sound like a great idea, and it might sound like something that could take you to that next level. However, are you ready? Are you ready to take that commitment to go to that next level? Or is there something else holding you back and stopping you? I wasn't ready. I thought I was ready. And I knew I had a choice. And I chose to go back to my coach and say, my coach is Michele. Michele, I am choosing not to do this at this moment. I feel that I'm not ready to write a book yet. However, I have an opportunity to work in a different culture around leadership and work with kids. And I feel like this is a huge part of my book. So this is a no for right now. It's not a no for ever. However, I had to make that choice. So the number one thing around responsibility is you have a choice. And you can make that choice in alignment with who you are, where you're going, and what your values are. And right now, my value was working and building a business. And I wasn't quite ready to write a book because I still had a limiting belief within me that I wasn't ready. However, there was an opportunity that presented itself for one chapter, and I knew I could do that. So I wrote that one chapter. I'm still not ready for that leadership book regarding multi-generation communication. However, I could do one chapter. And remember, a yes can always be changed to a no. I just showed you an example of that, but I have another example. I was working and partnering with an individual, and we were going to do a retreat. However, the date didn't work out. And this person said, Michele, let's take that information and give it away for free. And I was like, no. I knew within my heart, within my soul, this information was too valuable just to give away to somebody. And I learned I can say no. I have a choice. Just because I partnered with you doesn't mean I have to follow through the way you wish to follow through with the information that was going to be contained in this workshop. And Even though I was a partner, it was not my duty, nor my responsibility to use the information in the way that that other person wanted to use it. And the third part of responsibility is your voice matters. Oftentimes, I always felt like it was a duty to do things just the way everything said I had to do it, because I was the eldest daughter, because they looked upon me, because I had that college education, because I was seen as a leader. However, I didn't have it within me to say no. I didn't have it within me to see it as anything other than a duty. I did not see that choice. And I now know my voice matters. I can say no. And I'm now saying no. However, you also have to have those people that support you and cheer you on, that encourage you to use your voice. For me, speaking at a summit like this, I would have never done. However, I began to realize my voice matters. I matter. And it's my responsibility and my choice to jump on things that align with who I am. The person that creates a safe space, that is in service to others, and that is vulnerable and authentic. This wasn't easy to share this story, because I could look at it as other people will look down upon me because I couldn't say no. But I know, as I talk with other women, there are many of us that have that feeling that we cannot say no, that our voice doesn't matter, our story doesn't matter. And I'm here to tell you it does matter. You matter. And you can say no. And everything in life is a choice, including responsibilities. You can say no to your boss, especially if your plate is already overloaded. You can say no to going to a family event if you know that family event is going to lead you to depression, or if you feel as though it's a toxic and a negative environment. You can say no to those things that don't align with you. And you can always say yes and change your mind. As part of this, I'm providing you a free download of environmental factors, because you are the sum of the 5 people that you align with. And you are also a factor of your environment. And if your environment is not created to help you say no, if your environment doesn't allow you to feel like you have a choice, and if your environment doesn't make you feel like your voice matters, then how can we change it? How can you create an environment where you feel safe, where you feel heard, where you feel like you matter? And the law of the environment, which is a law that John Maxwell teaches in his 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, is one of those areas where you can stop, reflect, and ask yourself, how can I make this environment better? Or can I not? And if you cannot, what is that next step in life that you want to go through? Where do you want to go next? And if you need help, there's amazing people on this Elevate and Empower Summit that are here to help you. In the lower corner is a QR code, and I would love to offer you a complimentary 30-minute virtual coffee, and let's just chat. Because you never know when a 30-minute conversation is going to change your life. How do I know? I've been through those conversations with my coaches. My coaches helped me see that responsibility was at the root of my fear of success. It was my coaches that helped me see a different perspective in that how responsibility could be a choice. And that was up to me. So thank you for investing this time in yourself and helping you see you matter. And that responsibility is not a duty. You can say no. Your voice matters. And if you've said yes to something, you can always change your mind. Thank you, and I look forward to connecting with you in the future. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, Michele, for sharing your heart and your vulnerability with us on understanding we always have a choice to be who God created us to be. And as she said, her gift is a downloadable PDF on 5 steps to improving your environment. And to get that gift, all you need to do is click the link where you find this video and schedule a quick call with me, and you will receive this gift and all the gifts of all of the speakers. It is amazing, all the things that they are giving away to help us to elevate and empower. I look forward to talking to you soon, and I'll see you back in the next session.